So what would you say to a parent that's thinking, well, I don't think I want to vaccinate my kid for measles and mumps and all that stuff because I think autism might be caused by those vaccinations? That seems to be a media thing that can't get clarified to any degree of certainty. So
Yeah, I would try and speak to that parent from my heart and from my expertise as a virologist. So someone who's spent a couple of decades studying viruses and actually even developing animal models for proof of concept vaccine development. I have no financial interest in the vaccine industry or in the pharmaceutical industry, and yet I would advocate strongly for the vaccination of children. And one of the reasons I think that parents have the ability to sit back and sort of ask this question, should I or should I not vaccinate my child, is because of the success we've had with previous vaccines. You know, parents no longer see over 50,000 cases of polio in a single year with 20,000 cases of paralysis and 3,000 deaths because we've had polio vaccines since the 1960s. And so there have been many studies over the last 2 decades since one scientist, a man by the name of Wakefield, published a very controversial study that autism was linked to vaccination. And Wakefield was actually shown to have competing financial interests in trying to discredit the vaccine that he was studying. And so the whole link with autism was never established scientifically. And in the past 2 decades, there have been numerous research studies that have examined autism in light of vaccination, and there is no scientific evidence that supports autism linked with vaccination. And in fact, there's a national autism advocacy and science research group called Autism Speaks, and their official scientific policy as of today is that because of these vaccine research studies, that they no longer think that autism is linked to vaccination. And you can go to Autism Speaks website and see those official scientific policies, that there's no scientific evidence that links vaccination to autism.
Wow.
You know, I'd actually like to add one thing to the vaccination bit. I think that vaccines today, there are a lot of them. And I understand that parents might be concerned about how many vaccines their children are getting. And I would encourage them to talk to their pediatrician if they're really concerned about the number of vaccines, and express their concern to their pediatrician, and maybe work with their pediatrician to space the vaccines out a little bit more. I don't think that that's necessary, but I understand that some parents are concerned. And I don't think that the amount of research that could be done as to the timing and the number of vaccines that are given at a specific time is complete. And so if they have some reservations, I would say whatever you can do, vaccinate, because you're not just protecting your child, you're protecting the more vulnerable people in the population who may not be able to be vaccinated. But if you're concerned about the number of vaccines at any given time, talk to your pediatrician and see if he can spread those out for you a little bit.
Thank you for that. Yeah, that's good.